Absolutely beautiful. We have Tyler Tillman in the studio with us today. Looking forward to helping him tell his story. Holy cow. All the glitches with technology here today. We got, um, hopefully, everybody heard that song. It started off a little bit sounding like a different song we're going to be listening to here in a little bit. That song was called Heaven Has Neon Lights. It was actually his first album release. Is that correct?
First song off the album we got coming out.
How long have you been performing?
That's a tough question to answer. I've been doing it for probably about 8 years now, but I started just because it's a long story. My wife and I got married, bought a house, had a kid, all in the span of 12 months, and she wasn't really able to go back to work after she had our first, mainly because she wasn't making enough to make it worth the childcare. So I took on a bunch of part-time jobs, and she stayed home with the kids. So I had a full-time job, but none of those part-time jobs worked on Friday or Saturday nights, and I didn't really want to go be a bartender, so I decided I'd go play cover tunes for tips, and did that for a while. And then the last 2 or 3 years, we've been pushing our own product.
Heck yeah. So you would say that becoming a father inspired you to become a songwriter? Like what inspired you to go into the original part of it and start producing on your own?
Oh, so I've been writing songs, messing around with it since I was young. But the first song, it was my wife's birthday, and I'd been asking her for weeks and weeks and weeks what she wanted for her birthday, because we were tight on the budget, so I had to make sure that whatever I got her, she was going to like. There wasn't no surprises happening at that time. And the day of her birthday, she's like, the only thing I want you to do is answer this phone. And she dials up a number and hands it over. And it was a recording studio. And that's where I cut my first track. And it's just kind of kept on from there.
Are you still are you still recording with the same studio?
No, the first one was a studio called Red Tree Recording Studio. And I loved it, but I wanted to bring in my band, and it wasn't a good fit for my band, and we got invited to record at Stonery Cooper Media in Houston. So we set the boys up there, and that's where we record now.
Yeah, I know those types of things in the music industry seem kind of be a little bit territorial, so I wasn't sure if you guys were still hanging out with the same crew or if you're moving around. And I think that, I mean, it's wise to move around. If you find a sound that's hitting and, taking you to the top, I wouldn't risk it too much. But it's wise to move around and collaborate and work with different people, because after all, music is about the journey and the people you meet along the way. So tell us the story about that song we just heard, Heaven Has Neon Lights.
Uh, that's the story of the night I met my wife, and our, I guess our whole story. But I was driving a construction truck, and I was just a flatbed pickup, and I was going through downtown Houston, and I had heard 3 or so Neon Lights songs in a row, and that's kind of like, all right, we're getting a little tired of the Neon Lights stuff, guys. Let's get something new in here. And then the thought occurred to me that I wasn't going to need neon lights till I got to heaven, because I'd already found my forever. And I was like, well, crap. Now I got to write my own Neon Lights song. And that's what came out of it.
That actually is a pretty beautiful story. And I mean, that was a beautiful song. Have you had anyone call and be like, that's our wedding song? Like, not
No,
that far yet?
no. I've had a few people talk about it for the last song we just released, but not that one.
Have you ever had anyone else ask you to write them a song?
A few times, but most of the time they're looking for something. How do I put this? They have an idea in their head. They want it to sound like this and sound like that, and I think I've done it 2 or 3 times, but it's not something I do very often.
Is it something that you're open to, or you're just like, I don't want to be put in the box? Don't put me in the
It's
box.
it's kind of a case by case basis. I'm open to it, but don't get your feelings hurt if I tell you that's not really in my wheelhouse.
I don't want to sing about your dog, man. Like, I don't.
I've had enough of my own, Lord.
Heck yeah. Um, so I know that you have some awesome, exciting things that you're going to be doing later on in the year coming up soon. Tell us about the opportunity that you have with Randy Rogers.
Me and the boys are going to get to open for them. I believe it's September 12th. I think they've got us on a festival ticket in Temple, Texas. I'm looking forward to that one. And then I believe I'm opening for Kyle Park the next day after that. And hopefully we have a couple more dates. They're tentative at the moment, waiting on confirmation. But it'd be nice to get a few more dates in there opening for Randy. You know, they're a Texas legend.
Right? I mean, that's where you want to go. That's what I was telling people a few times ago is we got invited to go talk to a class about career day and the things that you can do in radio. And, you know, we were able to explain that there's so many different things you can do as far as getting into music, because you can be like you can be the songwriter, you can be like me, the radio host, or you can be the guy that owns the building, or, you know, like your roadie. There's so, your photographer, there's so many different things that you can do in music and ways to go about it. So like if music is something that really draws you, then there's lots of different opportunities for you to come into the niche and be a part of it.
Yeah, it really is a huge industry.
I mean, it's the medicine that the world needs. We just need to hear more than just the top 40 songs. Please, everybody in agreement, hit the like button, hit the like button. That's what we're really passionate about, supporting original music, because we believe stories heal. They touch people, obviously. We hear stories about the stories touching people all the time. I just shared, it might have been one of the guys I mixed you up for the other day, is where he said that someone cried when he sang a song, and he had never had anyone do that to one of his own songs before. And it's moments like that that, you know, give you that feeling, that love. Like Einstein said, love multiplied by the speed of light squared equals God. And so I definitely believe that. You know, everybody's talking about shine your light, let your love rain down on me.
That's right.
So is the Randy Rogers and the Kyle Park like back to back, the same festival?
No, there's a fairly famous, I believe it's a drive-in diner called Storms in Lampasas, and I think they're celebrating 50 years. And they hit me up last year asking if I would be interested in opening up for him.
Are you primarily doing your bookings in Texas? Have you traveled outside of Texas at all? Are you willing to?
We played in Shreveport, Louisiana, a couple of months ago. We're trying to break outside of Texas. It hasn't been the easiest thing, but our manager is currently working on getting us on a tour of all the PBR bars. And I'm not sure how that's going right now, but he said he thinks he's going to get it done before the end of the year.
Nice. Well, we are hoping that that pulls through. That would really be amazing. Another thing I talk about a lot is that, y'all, these artists, these independent artists, they hop on here, they sound great, you like their music, you can book them. Most of them run about $100 an hour. Like literally, instead of just playing the rodeo for 30 minutes before playing the rodeo. I'm dyslexic. I'm going to say that the right way. Playing the radio for 30 minutes before the rodeo. You can just have an artist come out, like have them open for an hour, and then sing the anthem, or even just open for a half an hour, sing the anthem, and then have a 2-hour show afterwards, and it's only going to be a couple $100. Then you have the cowboys and the strings. There's 2 different reasons for people to go to rodeo, not just the radio. They don't want to. People want real. People want raw. People want in their face entertainment that isn't this puppet mastery stuff. And so it would be beneficial for you to support the radio and the artists that are hopping on here and get them out to your events. Absolutely. So tell us about, is this your first album release then?
Yes, yeah, it'll be our first album release. We put an EP out, I believe, 1.5 years, 2 years ago, and it's just a little short 3-song EP, and we're growing into this. This will have 12 songs on it.
And you guys can see the website down there, tylertillman.com. Go check out his music. Go check out his merch. And make sure you add them to your Spotify playlist. We have another song coming up, Anything But Small. Can you tell us the story about that song?
Well, it got me a good old-fashioned bruise when I first played it. It's I don't even remember where exactly it came from, but I know it was a thank you song for my wife, because she took on a whole bunch of responsibility for me to go and do this. Like I said, I started playing for tips, and eventually it grew to where music was taking up so much time I couldn't do any of those other part-time jobs. And it got to the point where music was taking up as much time as my full-time job, which meant she was busy. We live on a small farm. We got a bunch of animals, and she had to take care of all of them pretty much by her lonesome. And we got 2 kids, and they're homeschooled. She does a whole bunch. And it was a song that I wrote to tell her how much I appreciate her, how tough she was. And I took every opportunity I could to poke fun at her, because it's called Anything But Small. And she's 4'10", mind you. She's, but I played it for her. She got mad. She thought I had just made a joke song to make fun of her. Gave me a good old slug. And then I went and got the lyrics for her and gave them to her, and had her read them. And she was like, "Oh, you weren't just joking." But that's the whole thing of Anything But Small. To cut it short, it's about not letting your shortcomings define you. Like, it's the whole point.
Nice. Is it the only song on your album that rendered you a black eye?
As of right now, yes.
To be continued on that one, right? They're still coming out.
Yeah.
Here we go, y'all. It's Tyler Tillman. Anything But Small.
She blows in like the wind, standing 4'10", just shy of 100, soaking wet. She just won't ask for help, swears she can do it herself. If there's a hill she can't climb, ain't found it yet. She can shop in the girls' department, but my favorite part is spirit deep down in her soul. 'Cause she's the kind that's all or nothing, 0 or 100. You either have her whole heart or nothing at all. She can take a seed and grow it, or your whole world and throw it. Keep you spinning like a bowl before the fall. Anything small.
Absolutely, absolutely love that song. Can definitely relate to that song. that 0 to 100. Oh man. Well, let's hope no more black eyes come out of your album, but they do make for some pretty cool stories for radio interviews. Just saying.
If you don't have good stories, you don't have much.
The next album's called My Black Eye. Oh man. So do you guys have a release date for when your album's coming out?
We have looked at 2 different dates. We haven't confirmed anything yet. We're either thinking, I believe it was August 31st, or we may push it back to September, October. I'm not real sure yet, because we may release one more before we release the album. I'm not sure yet.
So which have you released any of them to radio yet?
I've done small personal radio pushes. We've built a little bit of a connection with radio ourselves, but that's it. We haven't been able to spend the money on a radio promoter.
They are expensive. Y'all hear this? All 15,000 of y'all following this gentleman right here. He needs you to go buy his merch so that he can get these songs on the radio, so that the radio can spin them and he can generate revenue and get you more songs.
Yeah.
If you like him, if you love him, go get the merch so that you can be the free walking billboard that he needs to get to the next level, because 100% of every artist's journey falls on the fans.
It does.
It's 100%. If they're not supporting, you can be singing to the moon all you want.
Yeah.
You really can. What do you guys have? Let me look. We can just do this right here because I got your website pulled up on here.
Uh-oh.
And we can do this. Let's see what we have for merch over here.
I'm not sure what's on there at the moment.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
In the meantime, you can. Is this your PayPal, Tyler Tillman Music at Gmail?
That's my email. But
do you have a PayPal?
I do. If you look it up on the link tree, I don't think it's on the website, but there's a link tree somewhere. Shoot. Trying to remember where it is. But
heck yeah, let's talk about this offline. Absolutely. We are here as a nonprofit artist support and development. We do a lot of different things, like help artists get merch, help get websites set up, help with support so we don't have any snowflakes out there crying. We help support our artists. We are not promoters. We are a nonprofit support and development program that helps artists get recognized. That's part of why we are here today with Tyler Tillman, doing this Monday Night Live interview, deep dive, finding out all the nitty gritty that you're not going to find on his website or when you listen to the song. You can get a lot out of an artist when you listen to their music. You know. So tell me who, when you go perform, do you like to cover?
Kojo all day long. Cody Johnson. I could probably go.
So that's your main guy that you cover. What are some other artists that they can hear when you come out? See you.
Chris Stapleton. I do a good bit of Chris Stapleton. Good bit of Brooks and Dunn, and then I'll break into a lot of the old school Texas country. Randy Rogers, Kyle Parks, some Stoney LaRue. I get a little bit of everything. Some modern, some old, some traditional country, some that you would have only heard around this area. A little bit of everything, and then my originals, of course.
What's your favorite Stoney LaRue song?
Ooh. I don't actually cover it, but I probably should. If I'm going down, I'm going down in flames.
I just shared that song the other day. I love that. I love that because I was taught by a multimillionaire 25 years ago that if I set myself on fire, people would pay to watch me burn. So I actually did that for a career. I set myself on fire and got paid a lot of money to let people watch me burn and play with fire sticks and stuff. It was pretty fun, but
All right.
It's we keep spazzing out with our internet, and I'm hardwired in. So what gigs other than those two do you have coming up? What cities are you headed to next?
I am. Shoot, I have to look it up. I can't remember the names of the towns at the moment. This Friday, I am in Caldwell, Texas, and then Saturday I am in Huntsville.
Heck yeah. Huntsville, that's so there are so many common names like Huntsville, like there's Huntsville in like a lot of states in America.
Uh-huh.
Huntsville is a name in a lot of states. So
yeah, Montgomery too. I get every time I tell somebody when I'm a little further out that I'm from Montgomery, they're like, "Oh, Alabama?" No, Lord no.
So funny, I used to live, I owned a farm out in Tennessee, Illinois. It was really like a village of 100. I think there maybe, I don't even think there's 100. I don't even think it's, the only reason it's classified as a village is because there's a like 6x4 post office. Like, I'm not kidding you. It looks like a shoebox for a post office, but it is literally a post office. Nobody works there, but there are mailboxes inside of a building, and it is considered a government post office. And that's the only reason that that town even has a name. Like, I'm not kidding you. There's no gas station. There's a tavern and a diner. That's it. That's it.
Got the essentials covered. Food and
Oh, yeah. My mother owns that property now, and I feel for her because if it rains too much or snows too much, you're not getting home. Like, you can brave asking one of the drunks with a big truck at the tavern, but it's probably best to just go to town and get a hotel. It's country. It's country out there. It's hills and washed out bridges and all that good fun stuff you get with living in the country.
yeah, buddy.
So August, September, he's going to be rolling out this album. He's going to be joining us August 17th for the fun show. I'm pretty excited about that. Top 6 go to the finale. We've had so many artists like just blow out of the water after competing in the contest. So I'm super excited to see who else is joining us. I know that we have 6 artists already picked for the finale and 9 more spots available. So y'all, TexasStateSongwriters.com, go get on that site and look that up. TylerTillman.com, go follow him on all of his social media, all those little links down there. Click on all of them and go see if you can go on a treasure hunt and find new things on each different profile, because a lot of times you'll have to go to TikTok to see this video and Instagram to see this one, and you might find a little treasure that you didn't find when you were following them on the media that you currently do. All right, well, we have one more song, and this is kind of a quick interview, and I'm okay with that. You want to all the things that cowboys do?
Yeah, that's the title track off the album. I was playing a show in golly, little town. I can't remember the name. And this young boy was a afternoon Sunday show, and anytime I show up, I've got a cowboy hat, usually a starch shirt and starch jeans on. If you catch me in anything besides that at a show, it's got to be hotter than Hades. But he comes up to me after the show and he says, "Are you a real cowboy?" And I didn't really know how to answer the question, because by most people's standards, yes. I work on a ranch. We rope, we drag. I've been a team roper. I've done a whole bunch of cowboying, but I wouldn't call myself a cowboy, because to me, a cowboy's always been the old school, the ones that sleep down in the canyons with the cows and go out in the blizzards to make sure everybody's doing well. And we don't have to do none of that no more. The modern cowboying ain't the same as what it used to be. So I guess by modern standards, I am, but I hadn't really thought about that in a while. And I was out at this photo shoot, and there's a lady holding a horse for me to get on for this photo shoot. And she's like, you know how to get on a horse? And I was like, well, man, this ain't my first rodeo. Yeah, I don't think I can handle it. And it took me back to that little kid asking me if I was a real cowboy, and that it sparked something. And I went home after that photo shoot that day. And in fact, I actually started writing it there because I had a guitar to take pictures with and stuff. And yeah, that's just my answer to the question. If you ask me if I'm a real cowboy, no, but I've done all the things that cowboys do.
Right. You hear that out there, kids. That next question you ask your favorite songwriter might end up in a song. It might end up in a song. Ask those questions. Well, we have pretty much covered everything we came here to cover today. And unless you have some exciting stories you want to share or anything else you want to add before we head out, we're going to give them a sneak peek of this exclusive song that isn't out anywhere else yet.
That's what I was fixing to say. The song comes out, I think we've planned for July 11th, but it's not out anywhere else right now. It's the only place you can hear it.
And we're only going to give you a small little teaser, and you're going to have to wait for the rest of it. And if you want to cry about it, you can hit the angry face, and that'll help boost our algorithm so that everybody else knows that it's coming out in July.
Hey, go follow me on Spotify or Apple Music, and you can hear it when it comes out. Yeah.
Absolutely. Download the song. Tell your local venues that you have an artist that's available for travel that you want to hear at your town, and let's get Tyler Tillman on the road. This is all the things that cowboys do.
Of horses and I rode a massive fence. I made a loop and thrown a rope and prayed that I don't miss. I won't call myself a cowboy, but I'll tell it to you true. I've done all the things that